discuss project 1, which is deploying your app. And so you can find it here under the project 1 folder. It's 25%. And you can click this PDF, which gives you the project brief breakdown and everything that's expected. So it's 1.5 pages here. 25% of your final grade. And this is going to be, I know it says a prototype beta version of your mobile app. The reason it's called that is because your app is always subject to change, and this is going to be a deployed final version. So every feature that you want to finish this semester will be finished, but it can still technically be considered beta because you're still it's still your first iteration of it available to the public. So all of your features that you want to be working should be working at the end of the semester. So your group leader or whoever you decide will submit, because this will be a group project. You'll stay in your same groups that you guys have been in the entire semester from last semester, and you're going to submit a URL to me along with a PDF documenting the deployment. So there's 2 parts to this submission, and I'll be solely grading project 1 based off of what's submitted. So the link will be to your app store or your app on the App Store, Apple App Store, Google Play Store, wherever it's hosted. And then the PDF file is going to be kind of a documentation of the process that you had to go through. So I'll show you guys some examples of what that looks like from last semester, and then you can kind of get an idea of what to expect. But basically, you're going to have to go through that whole process of uploading it, and you're going to make the PDF document first, and you're going to do it as you go, because I think the really helpful part there is to document the errors and the difficulties that you encounter as you go through it, and then how you overcome them, how you resolve those errors or those difficulties, so that it's documented, and then next time you deploy an app, you can do that much easier. So that's the PDF, and then obviously the App Store link. Once you have it successfully online, it's just the link right to the app. So let me open up an example here. Let's see. Okay, so this is one for, I believe, the Google Play console. So you can see here they signed up for the Play account or the Google developer account, agreed to the terms and paid. So that's obviously the first step. And then they've verified themselves, and then they've created their app in the Play console. And this is how they did it. So here's the instructions. They chose the default language. They defined if it was an app or a game, the payment strategy, and then they accepted the rest of these agreements. It's all documented, and then we can see the categories, the tags that they added, the phone number, contact information, any external marketing, and then we can see they've started to create their listing. So here, the main store listing, there's an app name, description, and you can see like this document is quite long. It's 22 pages, so they go through the entire description, the icons that are uploaded, the review process, the privacy policy, the store listing preview, what ages that the app's targeted towards, any COVID-19, if there's COVID-19 information, you have to declare it, and just continue to go through this entire process. So I can upload these exemplars for you guys because they might be helpful, because you can learn from past groups. And then as you make one yourself, you'll kind of understand what to include and what not to include. But then we can see here, here's the unreviewed version of it sitting on the Google Play Store. And then if I keep going, eventually Google gets to it and it's finalized. And then the link is, I believe, right here. Right here, or right here. Might be that. So anyways, and then they submitted this document with the link to the app on the App Store, and they got a very good grade on that. So that's kind of what I'm expecting here. You can read through that, but basically this will be, I can make this due. I want to leave some time, obviously if there's updates or changes you want to make to the app, but it will be due in the second half of the semester. So you don't have to worry about finishing this in the first couple of weeks, but you do want to get this started as soon as possible, I would suggest. So you don't have to worry about this being due week 4 or week 5 or whatever. It's not like you have a month to get it online, but it will be due probably a couple weeks after reading week and a couple weeks before the end of the semester, just so we can ensure that it's on the App Store for your final presentation, and your fellow classmates can download it as you talk about the app in your final presentation. So there's some basic steps here on what to expect for creating your account, how to create the account in the console and stuff. But following those documents that I'll upload, the exemplars, will be probably more helpful than just this short list. And then here's just a little bit of the expectations for what to include in the document. But one thing I want to note that document I just showed you didn't include was, errors or things that they found difficult, because, maybe everything went according to plan for them with Google. But there's another one. Let's see if I can find this one. Is for the Apple. Is this the one? No, that's Google Play. Submitting on the Apple App Store. Because this app had to do with COVID-19 statistics, I believe, Apple actually was giving them a tough time about it, because you can't just have statistics about COVID-19 anymore without them being from verified sources. So, they would get it reviewed and then it would get denied, and then they get it reviewed again and then they get denied because they weren't showing the sources of where they're getting their information. So I want to see if I can find that information. So this is how to connect to the Apple Store Connect, and how to create your certificate and your identity to publish it. They have a keychain to verify their IPA file, and then let's see. They select their release options. They submit it for review, and then so that's the one thing that wasn't added onto this was, when the review got denied, show every part of your step, show that it got denied, show what you did to fix it. And then, you want to show the complete picture of how you ended up with your app on the App Store successfully, right? Because then you probably learn more from your mistakes than you do from just trying something and it working, right? So that is project 1. So I'm giving it to you now so you guys can, do with it as you will. But I encourage you to start as soon as possible on it and get the ball rolling with those developer accounts. So any questions about that? Any confusion that you want to clear up? Now's the time.
So you said you can kind of have like a team account where everyone can kind of have access to the application with Google or Apple or whichever you're using?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So what you can do is, I know with App Store Connect, you can create, like, I'm part of an app. Let's see. I'm not a big Apple person, so I'm not exactly sure how they did it, because I didn't set this one up. But as part of the MDEV program, I'm part of an App Store Connect. Oh, sheesh. Team through Georgian College, and you can add, I don't know if I remember my password here. So you can have multiple developers logged in. Oh, college, that's probably why. Let's see if I can log in. Benjamin.pinarrow@georgiancollege.com. I don't know if I remember it. Anyways, I know you can have multiple developers on your App Store Connect. That's what I was going to show you, because I'm on here with Yogesh and like Moose, and we're all on part of this App Store Connect as admins. And then you can we added students from last semester, and maybe you will actually see this semester doing your iOS development with, who teaches that again? Yogesh, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah, so he'll probably add you, and I think Steve does as well for game design. Do you have that this semester as well?
Yes, we do.
Okay, cool, perfect. So I think they'll probably cover this in more detail because they're the ones that manage it. But on App Store Connect, they add all of you guys to like a group. So they're able to have like multiple students as part of it. So you could create like a team account like that and then add like say yourself and Jathan and the rest of your team, right? Or what you could do is you could just create an account, buy it, call it the yellow team account or call it the wireframes account, and then that would just be your team account. You'd share the password with each other, everything like that. So it's up to you how you do it, but there's different options that are available to you. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, the only thing is, I don't know if you do the team account where you're all added to it. I don't know if you all have to have your own individual license or if just the admin needs the license and then you can add other people to it. They don't have to pay the 140, but they're still part of the team. They still have access to it. But the person who has the license is the only one who has the privileges to publish and release. But I think they can grant those privileges to the rest of the team that's on there. But I think there's like an explicit way to grant those privileges that you have to go through and give admin rights. Because I know we had issues with it as this Georgian college group that I'm a part of. We had issues with it because students couldn't publish their apps through it because they're not admins, but we couldn't give the students admin rights because then it allows them to like delete other people off of the team and stuff like that. So there's different roles you can give your team members once you're all in the App Store Connect if you're doing Apple. With Google, I'm not sure if there's a team option like that. I've never explored it. I know I've just done it like as a solo developer where you have like the developer account on Google and then you just log in and do it. But we'll cover more. I'll talk a little bit more about deployment throughout this semester and have like slides and lectures on it. So you're not completely lost, but this is just kind of like the starting the groundworks for it, so you can kind of get your head in that headspace and look into that stuff. But yeah, sweet. Any other questions? Cool. So I would highly recommend, yeah, looking into that process and beginning it sooner rather than later. I know I've repeated myself there many times, so I'll stop. Cool. Before we get into the sprint planning meetings, I want to cover this PowerPoint with you guys, and we'll just go through these slides. We're going to talk about different revenue models, and we're going to talk about monetization within our apps. So I'm just going to segregate the recordings here.